Bill Withers and Lean On Me. Radio Broadland then for a Friday afternoon. And joining me now, my first guest for today, Kevin Dean from Lowestoft, has got quite an impressive sort of job list, I would think you would call it, behind him. Musician, composer, entertainer and guitar teacher, and he's only 16 years of age. Hello, right. Kevin.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in this afternoon. As I said, quite a long, you've got 4 sort of titles there after your name. You're so young, and yet you're involved in so much.
It's quite hectic.
How come?
Well, I started off teaching guitar, a few years ago, and then I got in a band, started doing cabarets with people like Shuwaddy Waddy, Joe Loss and Sid Lawrence, and then I got in a duo called Justice, and starting to get together a promotional package, records, videos. I'm getting together with Jet Harris from The Shadows, and we're going to get a whole package together and try and go for the big time.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a moment, because we'll have a listen to some of the stuff that you've already sort of put down on tape. But how did you become interested in music in the first place? I mean, a lot of children when they're young, they're always interested in music, aren't they? Well, were you pushed in any way?
No, not at all. No, my parents used to play a lot of Shadows records when I was young, and I used to like it ever so much. I was only about 6 or 7. I said, "Buy me a guitar for Christmas, please." And they bought me a little plastic one. I want a real one, and I used to sort of mime to The Shadows, and I wanted a real one. They got me a real one, started having a couple of lessons, and that went on from there.
How old were you then?
When I started having lessons, I must have been about 8 or 9, something like that.
Did other sort of children at school think that you were a bit weird, that there you were?
There was actually a few other ones who started, and after about 2 months they give up, but maybe if they'd have carried on, they might have been able to have done it as well.
Yeah, I know most children at some point always dream about being in a pop band or making it big with a record, and that sort of seems as though it's coming true for you in a way. And it I suppose to other people it would seem that it's been quite an easy road for you.
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of support from my parents. That's the one thing they've been great. But took me to gigs, took me to London for auditions and things, and that. Took me to BBC TV Centre last year on Going Live, Young Entertainer of the Year. They took me all the way up there. They're really good. They look after me well.
You've sort of mentioned a few names there, like Shuwaddy Waddy and stuff like that. Sid Lawrence, Bob Carrollgees with them, sort of Spit the Dog. I mean, how did you get to be associated with people like that?
Well, that was mainly at Ponton's Holiday Camp. We did summer seasons there. I was in a band, and entertainment man just said, "Well, we've got all these big names coming down, Shuwaddy Waddy, Joe Loss, etc. We'd like to support them, be cabaret before they come on." We said, "Yeah, fine." So that was a really good experience meeting them and that, and they're really friendly, really good.
So you actually get down and play the guitar. What do you think of the state of the music today in the charts? Because a lot of it is quite manufactured, probably not to your taste, I would have thought.
I don't mind some of it. I think I like a lot of the sort of Stock Aitken and Walkman backing tracks, but some of the songs I think some a bit corny sometimes, but they're sort of, it's all professional stuff, Yeah. Some of it is a bit dodgy, I think, but some of it's okay.
You'd obviously like to see yourself in the charts, but what sort of record would you like to say make the top 10 with?
Well, all my music is instrumental music, and I'd like to write a good dance disco number, which I could imagine in the charts. In fact, one of the tracks on the album is a disco-y type one, which I could imagine in the charts, and that's the title track. But anything really I'd like to get in the charts. We've also like to do film scores, I write film music and jingles and things like that. I enjoy doing that as well. Yeah,
well, you're obviously very, very enthusiastic. Where do you get your ideas from for the themes and the music that you write?
Writing the music, I don't plan. I just sit down, take it as it comes, get in front of a keyboard. I write all my stuff on keyboard, I am a guitarist, but I write it on keyboard. And just build around chord sequences and go in the studio. Well, I do a mock version on my little studio at home, and then go in the big studio and work on it there. But that is hard work to get it exactly right, I get sort of depressed if something is slightly wrong, I've got to do it again and get it right. Yeah,
do you ever go to your parents then and say, "Well, come on, tell me what you think"? And do you think that they can be honest, because you're still their son at the end of the day, aren't you? And they might think, "Well, I don't like to hurt him, really."
No, I think they are honest. Sometimes they might say, "Oh, that might sound a little bit sound better if you put it in another place," and that. They do advise me a lot.
Right. Yeah. What about getting your work noticed? Because that's another big hurdle that you have to overcome. I mean, it's one thing sitting down and writing stuff, but it's another actually taking it to somebody else, a third party, and then saying, yes, Kevin, I think this is good.
That is the hardest thing. But long as I've got the videos and the tapes and the photographs together, then I can relax and go up London and try and sell it, and hopefully get record companies interested and take it from there, really, But that is the hardest part, as you say, getting that promoted.
A lot of it is, I suppose, to do with what's in the chart at the time. I know you shouldn't actually say that, but it is, isn't it? They look at the Stock Aitken and Waterman stuff and sort of think, well, does it fall into this category? And if it doesn't, then I suppose you tend to go down the list a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a rough idea what I've got down. The record companies can change it if they want. They can obviously, if I did get signed up, they'd re-record everything. They wouldn't use the ones I've got now, and they could sort of do what they want with it. I think that's a lot of things. They do tend to probably change a lot of things nowadays. You get bands go in there with a tape, and they'll say, "Oh, we'll change it here, change it there," which is fine. They know what they're doing.
You wouldn't actually mind that then?
No, as long as the tune's still there and that, But I think they do that in the studios a lot.
The backbone, as long as that's still there. Yeah. Now, how did you get to be involved with Jet Harris? Fill me with the details of that.
Well, ever since I was little, as I said, I used to listen to Shadows tapes, and I used to look up to all the Shadows and Jet Harris. And whenever you say to somebody instrumental electric guitar music, they tend to think of Bert Weedon, Jet Harris, Shadows, and that. And I thought it'd be nice to get him to come along on one of the albums. So my dad, who acted as my manager, he got in contact with Jet Harris management and took it from there, and sent him the tape, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to come down." So he's coming down this Monday and Tuesday. On the Monday we'll do the recording studio part, and on the Tuesday go in the film studios and do the video.
Right. And when are we likely to see this stuff out in the shops? I mean, when's Kevin Dean going to be like a top-selling album?
Oh, hopefully soon. We're going down London in May to try and sell the package, me and my dad, and hopefully that'll be it then. Hopefully. That is hard.
Well, I wish you lots and lots of luck.
Thanks, Chrissie.
I really do. You'll have to keep in touch.
Yeah,
you must do. Promise.
I'll send you a copy of the Jet Harris one.
You must do. Promise me that you'll keep in touch and let us know how you get on.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can play some for you on the afternoon show, which we're going to do right now.
Yep.
Just to introduce this next track for us.
It's one of the tracks off the album. It's called Phoenix.
Kevin Dean then in Phoenix, and we'll wish him lots and lots of luck for next week, recording with Jet Harris, and hopefully he'll send us a copy of that particular album and we can play you him some more. I think we'll just have to say a case of go for it, Kevin, don't you think so? Now, don't forget that 3 Old Norfolk Wherries will be on the show at Paul's Ferry in Norwich tomorrow from 10 until 8:30. It is free to have a look round, and the original ferry that was last used in 1939 will make trips across the river. Archive film of the Broads will also be screened in the Watergate room at Paul's Ferry. Admission, that's just 25 pence for adults, 10 pence for children, and you'll also have the chance to ride in an electric launch. The whole show will be at the Hotel Nelson on Sunday between 2 and 5.
We'd like to introduce the new Fiesta, the smart, small car that will set the standard. The new Fiesta is going to be the small car for the 90s. Its predecessor was a front-runner that set new sales records and repeatedly won awards as the leader of its class. The new car builds on these traditions, but sets even higher standards. New standards in design, economy, and quality. We think you'll like it. Come to John Gross, Ipswich or Lowestoft, from April the 13th.
Captain's log, stardate 1989. Morale is low due to a malfunction in the ship's satellite TV system. Analysis?
It's perfectly logical, Captain. The Eurocrypt unscrambler is simply incompatible with the PAL format.
Right.
We need a retrofittable receiver with J17 audio de-emphasis and switchable video band.
Confused by satellite TV? Have a word with Hughes. We've got the latest Solora systems in stock now for sale or rent, plus advice in plain English.
Sockets for a D2 Mac decoder.
Well, fine. Could we just run over that again?
Remember, for the best advice and the best deals, it's more logical to ask Hughes.
What you're about to hear is true.
Just an Illusion was a great hit for Imagination. See Imagination at Tiffany's this Saturday. And coming soon, Chanel, Sister Sledge, all to Tiffany's, Great Yarmouth.
Are you suffering from increased mortgage payments? Perhaps we can help. A remortgage from Norwich and Peterborough Building Society is the easy way to rearrange your mortgage. You could reduce your payments or release money to extend or improve your home.
Call into any branch of Norwich and Peterborough Building Society for written details, or ring free of charge on 0800 581 584. That's 0800 581 584. Mortgages are subject to status, security, and in some cases, life assurance.
We have an